Welcome into our weekly lacrosse recap. My name is Dane Stewart, and as always, want to remind you, you can catch these recaps on KSL Sports Rewind, on KSLSports.com, and on the Utah Lacrosse Podcast. And of course, we want to thank our sponsors that make these recaps possible. Heidemann and Associates. It's a full-service law firm. If you have any legal needs, the experts at Heidemann and Associates will take care of you. Visit them online at utah.law to learn more about their offerings, or give them a call. Tell them Rewind sent you. You'll get a free consultation by calling 801-472-7742. And of course, we want to thank Tribal West Lacrosse. There's no one who's going to get you back out on the field quicker than Tribal West Lacrosse. Be it team gear, jerseys, equipment, meshing, whatever you need in the great sport of lacrosse, these experts at Tribal West will take care of you. Visit them in Sandy at 9860 South, 700 East. Again, Tribal West, a proud sponsor of our weekly lacrosse recaps. All right, our opening face-off this week. Oh boy, we've got a big-time week. We talked about the games last week, all of the 1 versus 2 matchups that we had, big RPI implications. And for our opening face-off this week, well, we're going to be a little selfish here. Join us on Saturday morning on KSLSports.com live. We're going to do a bracket release show. Yeah, that's right. 10:05 a.m. live on KSLSports.com. Join me as we release all the brackets for 6A, 5A, 4A, boys and girls. We'll talk to you about, we'll show you all of the brackets. It'll be the first time that I'll see them. And we'll talk through all of those matchups all the way from first round through potential semifinal championship matchups, again, for 6A, 5A, 4A, boys and girls. Please get to a computer Saturday morning, 10:05. Come join us. Going to be really the first time we've ever done this for lacrosse. So going to be breaking new waters here, and want to thank the UHSAA for working with us on this as we have our bracket release show, again, live Saturday morning, 10:05 a.m. on KSLSports.com. All right. Well, we want to talk a little bit about Utah. Obviously, a big week this last week, the ASUN Conference Tournament for the Utes, and walked into that tournament as a number 1 seed. That was really big. Obviously, 3 teams finished at 7-1 in conference play, being Utah, Air Force, and Jacksonville. And of course, Utah taking care of Cleveland State in a one-sided affair, 21-6 in the semifinal, advancing to the conference championship game, and had to face Jacksonville. And if you recall this match against Jacksonville, late March, Utah got off to such a scorching start in that game. I mean, they looked dominant early on. And then Jacksonville came back, got to within 1, but Utah was able to hold off the Dolphins for the 16-14 win in that game back in March. And in the ASUN Conference Championship game, which was just in Colorado Springs, a very similar type game. Utah got off to a great start in this one. They led by 7 at multiple times in this game, including early in the fourth quarter, before a Dolphin comeback once again got the Dolphins to within 2. And then in the final 30 seconds, well, we should say in the final 3 minutes or so, Colin Lenskold made a couple of big saves, got a little help from the pipe as well. But hey, that's because he had it covered, right? That's pipes are there only because the goalie's got the area covered. Lenskold had some big saves, and then Andriella scoring his third of the game to give Utah the 16-13 win over Jacksonville. And the Utah Utes, back-to-back ASUN Conference Tournament champions. And on Sunday, they learned their fate where this weekend, Saturday, Utah going to head out to the Tar Heel State to take on the number 2 Duke Blue Devils. Personally, I was a little surprised by this seeding. You could look at some websites walking or heading into Selection Sunday. Many thought, well, I saw one that said, hey, it's probably going to be Utah at Duke. And I was like, with all the conference automatic bids, I would think Utah's a little bit stronger. I thought they'd be a little higher seeded, but man, that prognostication was right. So Utah going to have their hands full going up against the number 2 Duke Blue Devils. Should be a high energy game. And if Utah can get that offense rolling, as they have done in the back half of the season in ASUN play, it could be an entertaining one, but they're going to have their hands full taking on the Duke Blue Devils. That game will be, I believe, Saturday morning where you can catch that. So, hey, best wishes to the Utes. and hope they can go do the state proud on the road as they take on the number 2 Duke Blue Devils. All right, we already kind of alluded to, we had conference title implications in matchups last week. Let's dive into what happened in, the week 9, I think it was, the week before the final week of the regular season. Let's start off, as we always do, we'll start off in 4A. And let's go on the girls' side. A rematch again. We talked early on about Bear River, how strong they've been. They took on Ridgeline. 16-3, the win for the Bear River Bears as they continue to look undefeated. One of those really pivotal battles we were interested in out of Region 8. Payson taking on Timpanogos. And in this Region 8 battle, it was the Payson Lions getting the big win over the Timberwolves, 8-7, as Leah Sorensen had 4 goals. Carol Yost had 3 goals. Cecily Williams had 4 goals in the loss for the T-Wolves. And with that, Payson now finding themselves with a multi-game lead heading into this final week of the regular season. So Payson looking like they might have that Region 8 championship locked up. There's some big games coming up this week, including one in Region 8. Payson will be at Provo. That game is actually on Monday, and we're filming this on Monday. So that result will be complete by the time you hear this. That would be a really pivotal game for that region. And then how about Waterford and Juan Diego, as this is the top 2 teams in Region 10. Juan Diego, game and a half back, must-win game for the Soaring Eagle. And, we've talked about Juan Diego this year, but for those of you who don't know, there is a player at Juan Diego that we need to give a shout-out to. And I know that some may dismiss this, but how about Olivia Prosper? Was actually talking on a game earlier this season with someone about the career that Prosper's had at Juan Diego. And when you look at her 3 years, she's a junior. You look at her freshman year, scored 68 goals. Her sophomore year, 129 goals. And her junior year, 91 goals for Olivia Prosper through 10 games. She's got 288 goals in 38 career varsity games. And she's still got another season to go. They've got themselves a score in Olivia Prosper. So that Juan Diego, Waterford matchup, that's also a Monday game. Again, you'll be able to see that result if you go look at scores at the time that you hear this. Big one atop Region 10. Let's go to 5A. Some big games this last week in 5A. We'll start in Region 7. This was one that was really pivotal for the region standings. Maple Mountain, Salem Hills, they were both undefeated at the time of playing, and Maple Mountain coming away with a 12-7 win. Taylor Yee had 4 goals. Liesel Hansen had 3 goals to help the Golden Eagles stay undefeated in region play, sitting atop Region 7 at 6-0. We talk about Region 6, how dominant this region has been. Had a battle of undefeateds this last week. Olympus, Park City. This was in the RPI, I think it was 1-3. It might have been 1-2. Olympus, we talked about they lost early on, lost to Foothill, but we said when the initial RPA came out, I think they were 4 or 5, said, hey, they're going to win a lot of games. They have won a lot of games. 12-1 are the Olympus Titans. 6-0 in region play as they get the 13-8 win over Park City. Hannah Nelson, 5 goals. Liz Ane had 3 goals in that one. Neff, McHenry each had a pair for Park City in the loss, as Olympus, the last undefeated team in Region 6. Brighton had a big matchup this last week with West Jordan. West Jordan's only region loss had been against Park City, and they had to take on the Brighton Bengals. Really kind of opportunities for second place on the line in this one, and Brighton taking care of business. How about the night for Izzy Gurley? 7 goals to lead Brighton, as Alex Hughley had 6 goals. That duo finishing with 13 of Brighton's 18 goals in the 18-7 Bengal win over West Jordan, as West Jordan now 5-2, game and a half back of first place. Brighton Park City sitting at 6-1 apiece in that region, just 1 game out of that first place, and they'll play this week. Brighton and Park City, winner of that one has an outside shot, probably not great odds, an outside shot at getting a co-region championship. Olympus will take on West Jordan this week, another one to keep an eye on in Region 6. How about Region 5? Woods Cross continued to take care of business, had just the 1 non-region game. They've won 13 games in region play. 13-0 are the Woods Cross Wildcats in region, as they played Viewmont this last week. Viewmont was upset a week and a half ago and didn't make or kind of change some of the stakes in this game as they were 2 games down heading into this battle with Woods Cross, and the Wildcats made no mistake about it. A dominant 23-7 win. Ella Matthews had 5 goals. Emmy Richards had 5 goals. And Leela Dunn had 4 goals to lead Woods Cross in the lopsided victory. Woods Cross has an interesting game coming up this week as they'll take on Skyline. That's a Region 6 team. And that Skyline team, look, they struggled in region play. They were 7-0 in non-region play this year were the Skyline Eagles. This will be a good test for Woods Cross to see how well they'll match up outside of that Region 5 where they've been so dominant this season. Let's move to 6A. Had some interesting, fun 6A games this last week. How about Skyridge took care of business over Pleasant Grove? Remember, PG got off to an early, fantastic start. Went over Lone Peak, went over Skyridge. Well, this week it was the Falcons getting a little revenge. Tessa Jamison with 4 goals to help propel the Falcons to the 7-5 victory over PG. An interesting game coming up this week as we'll get to one of the teams in that interesting matchup that PG will face. Let's move to Region 2, and Riverton, Mountain Ridge had the battle really with region championship on the line for Mountain Ridge. Riverton came in, guaranteed at least a share of a region championship, and Mountain Ridge needed the win to try to get that share, but Riverton, the Silver Wolves taking care of the Sentinels. 12-9 the final score in that one. Emma Pennington finished with 4 goals. Izzy Blunk had 4 goals. Rachel Strong came up with 10 saves for Riverton as that potent offense of Mountain Ridge with Clark and Chalk and Cannon limited to just 9 on the night. Clark had 4, Chalk had 3 as Riverton gets the win. Riverton, your Region 2 champions. And this week, the Region 2 champ's going to go take on Pleasant Grove. That game will be Tuesday night in what will be an interesting non-region battle between a team that started really well in PG, see if they get back on track here with the non-region matchup. Let's move to Region 1. And looked like it was going to be Farmington. They were undefeated in region play. And here come the Lady Titans. Remember, this group started off the year really struggling. They hit region play and everything trending up for Syracuse as Syracuse gets the 12-10 win over Farmington. Sarah Bear had 4 goals. Hanson and Fairbanks each had 3. Kalia Smith had 10 big saves for the Titans as they get the 12-10 win over Farmington. They hand to Phoenix their first region loss of the year. And now you've got Fremont and Farmington tied at 7-1, and they'll play Thursday night, your Region 1 championship game. That one will be at 5:15 at Fremont, and we'll have it for you. Yeah, that's right. We're going to be up at Fremont for Farmington at Fremont, your Region 1 championship game. You can catch that on KSLSports.com Thursday at 5:15. Boy, a lot of great girls games. We'll also mention we are going to be at that Woods Cross Skyline game that we talked about earlier. That game will be Friday night at 7 o'clock at Skyline High School. So a couple of great girls games this week that you can catch on KSLSports.com. Let's move to the boys' side. And in the boys' side, again, some really important battles this last week. Let's start down in Region 10. We talked about the first battle. Judge Juan Diego. Judge got off to the 10-2 lead through 3. Juan Diego made a big push in that fourth quarter, went on a 6-0 run to close out the game, but fell just short. 10-8 the final score in that initial game. Judge got the win. Second game, Judge was having none of it. How about this for the Judge Memorial Bulldogs? They led 5-3 after the first, 8-4 at half, and then they went on a 9-1 second half run, did Judge Memorial. 17-5, all Judge in this one. Rome Swanik, 4 goals. Sean Jerome, 4 goals. Maddox Comey, 4 goals. You see a trend here. Freddie Gowski, 3 goals. The offense for Judge was phenomenal as Judge takes care of Juan Diego, and they are atop of your 4A RPI at last check. And, of course, that was before it got pulled down. Judge with a significant win. Talk about some games coming up this week. Skyview hosting Ridgeline. 2-game lead for Skyview. Looks like Skyview assured at least a share of a region championship. That'll be a critical one for Ridgeline if they want any region title hopes. And how about Orem at Payson this week as well? A great battle between the top 2 teams in Region 8. That game will be Thursday. That Region 11 game, Ridgeline, Skyview, will be Friday. Let's move to 5A and some fun 5A games. How about Olympus taking on Park City. Great Region 6 action. Park City had been undefeated in region play. Olympus was 6-1 in region play. Olympus getting the big win in a defensive battle, 7-3 the victory. Peterson had a pair of goals, and 5 other Olympus scorers scored. Each had one. Talk about depth of offense, depth of scoring there, right? Like not having a player score 5, 6, 7 goals. Olympus, 6 different scorers on 7 goals. Good balance there. I know they'd love to score more, but hey, a win's a win. And when you get 6 different goal scorers on 7 goals, love the depth that shows for Olympus. How about Alta? We talked about the middle of Region 6, some congestion in the standings there. Alta playing East this week. Alta with the 11-5 win as Braxton Horoba continues to have a nice year leading the offense for the Alta Hawks. They got some other guys around him too. Big games coming up this week for Region 6. One of them, atop the region, Brighton, undefeated, 16-0 on the season, 7-0 in region play. They're your number 1 scoring defense. They and Olympus through 7 games have only given up 24 goals in region. That's unreal. But Brighton going to take on Park City. We talk about Park City falling to Olympus. Park City trying to come off of that, trying to force what could be a 3-way tie atop that region. Big game in that one. You know what? It's big enough. Maybe we'll be there. Wednesday night, Park City at Brighton. Count it. KSLSports.com will have that game streamed for you live. That game set for, I believe, 8 p.m. at Brighton High School. Park City at Brighton. KSLSports.com will have it for you there, the live game stream. Potential Region 6 title. Well, Region 6 title implications on the line, and a Region 6 champion could be crowned that night. Another big game. Corner Canyon going to come up and take on the Olympus Titans. Non-region battle for Olympus. Corner Canyon, your Region 2 champs. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. This is going to be strength on strength. Cannot wait for this matchup. This one sounds like a doozy too. So we'll be there as well. This game will be Tuesday night. Corner at Olympus, set for 7 o'clock. You can catch that game live on KSLSports.com. Oh, man, we got good games coming up this week. Let's move to Region 5, shall we? How about Northridge? Had the big battle this week with Box Elder. Northridge stamping their legitimacy. Big night for Colin Dibble. This young man had some critical saves early on, really set a tone for that Northridge defense. And how about the scoring? Max Skousen, 6 goals. Cypers had 4 goals in this one as Northridge found all sorts of offense. They're your best offense in Region 5. They're also your best defense in Region 5. This has been a complete team for Northridge. We talked about Coach Keller, what he's building there for the Knights. This program looks ready to make a run. But before they do, they've got a big matchup. This game will be Tuesday. It's your Region 5 championship game, Northridge at Roy. Roy, 1 game back of Northridge, and Northridge trying to get that win. If they do, could go undefeated in region play, could be in line for a top seed in 5A, and this will be a big one. Tuesday night, your Region 5 title game, Northridge at Roy. Speaking of Roy got a big win this last week against Bountiful, 11-10 in overtime. Roy trailed at the break, 7-4. Grady Call had 6 goals. Wright, Dixon each had 2, and Casper came up with 5 goals for Bountiful in the losing effort. Roy in overtime, staying just within reach of the Northridge Knights for that region title game on Tuesday night. All right, let's move to 6A, shall we? And we had another great game down in Region 3 between a pair of undefeateds, 1 versus 2, region championship on the line, Lone Peak at AF. And, of course, this game was set up because Lone Peak got a big win over Westlake, had a strong start to the second half. The Knights did. They led that game by 1 at the break. They had a 3-0 third quarter. Gifford had 3 goals. Lambert, Harris, Dobecki each had a pair as they were able to get past Westlake 10-7, and that set up the battle between 4-0 teams on Friday night. Lone Peak at American Fork. Man, this was a fun game. But how about the night for Lambert? My goodness, Seth Lambert had 3 goals in the first quarter alone, and 2 of them came from the exact same spot, had a beautiful one from straight away. He was locked in early as this Lone Peak offense really dominated. The face-off was probably edged to Lone Peak, but man, on possession, they just moved that AF defense, did such a great job of executing, really taking the ball away from American Fork, not allowing them to get their offense going. When AF did, boy, they struck, and they struck quickly. But Hudson Faint came up big, had 7 saves in this one to help lift Lone Peak to the 10-5 victory over American Fork. Lone Peak finishes their Region 3 schedule undefeated at 5-0 and your Region 3 champs. Let's move to Region 2. We talked about Corner Canyon, your Region 2 champions, and they stamped that this week as they had the Bingham Miners, a 23 dominant win for Corner Canyon in that one. Dominant from the faceoff, dominant on possession, dominant finding the back of the net, everything going the way of the Corner Canyon Chargers. And when we talk about young men, you can look at a young man there in OJ Ika, just a freshman young man, over 50 goals this year. He's had himself a big year. He's going to be a player we talk about for years to come. Again, just a freshman leading that Corner Canyon offense. They got all sorts of pieces. Their goalies have been strong with Fippen and with King. This is a really talented Corner Canyon team. We talk about them going to take on Olympus. Oh, it's going to be a good one. How about this game? This is a cross-region game. Bingham finished second in Region 2. Going to go take on the second-place team out of Region 3. The AF Cavemen. That game will be Thursday night. Bingham at American Fork. Be a great game right before the state playoffs. Good kind of litmus test for each of those two programs. And then we talk about another non-region battle. Obviously, Corner going to take on Olympus this week, and then Corner will head home to take on the Park City Miners. Yeah, that's right. This was not too long ago. This was a state championship game in your A division, and now you got two teams. You got three teams in Corner, Olympus, and Park City, all playing each other within a span of about a week and a half's time to see how each of those programs stack up. Meanwhile, Brighton there being like, we beat Corner, we beat Olympus, and trying to finish out the trifecta this week on Wednesday night. Oh, what a great week of lacrosse we have. That Park City Corner game, that'll be a fun one this week as well. As if that's not enough for you, we haven't even talked about Region 1 yet, because up from, usually it's the Phoenix that rise from the ashes, but this year it's been the Fremont Silverwolves. I didn't know Silverwolves had that capability. Remember, Fremont lost early in the season to both Davis and Farmington, and they've had to go on a winning streak, and the Silverwolves have done it. Took on Davis this last week, and this game goes to overtime for the second time in the last 3 games against these two. Remember, last year's semifinal goes to overtime. Fremont got that win. Fremont gets this win in the rematch of 2024, as it's the first time Davis has lost when they scored more than 7 goals. It's also the first time Davis has allowed double-digit goals this season, as Fremont gets the 12-11 win over the Davis Darts, as solid win for Fremont. And now you've got Davis, Fremont, and Farmington each sitting at 7-2 in region play. Man, what a job for Coach Searle. We talk about Carson Isaacson, Davis, Searle. Man, what a job from this group, regrouping after some early disappointing results and getting on a run. Fremont playing really good lacrosse right now. Farmington had a big win this last week over Weber, 11-8. Levitt had 4 goals. Bears had 12 saves. Britton had 4 goals in the loss for the Weber Warriors. That Weber record, 10-7 overall, 4-5 in region play. I still say you don't want to see Weber in the state championship game. Very balanced group for Coach Allred. It'll be interesting where they get slotted and who's going to have that unfortunate task. You talk about some of the top finishes, the top teams. We've seen Lone Peak, American Fork, Fremont, Davis, Corner. Man, that 6A tournament is going to be something else. And a reminder, the brackets for the state tournaments come out this weekend, and you can catch that release live on KSLSports.com, as we'll take you through all the brackets for 6A, 5A, 4A, boys and girls. We'll release all the brackets. We'll talk about big matchups coming up. Going to be a fun show. Please come online. Join us as we talk through all the brackets right here on KSLSports.com. Busy schedule this week. We talked it, but let's summarize it. Tuesday night, we got Corner Canyon at Olympus. That game, 7 o'clock. Wednesday night, Park City at Brighton. That game at 8 o'clock. Both of those are boys' games. Thursday night, we head over to the girls. Your Region 1 championship game as Farmington at Fremont. That game will be at 5:15. And finally, Friday, Woods Cross will head out of region. They started the year out of region. They'll end the year out of region at Skyline. That game will be 7 o'clock on the girls' side. You can catch all those games on KSLSports.com. Thank you for joining us here for our weekly recap. Again, we want to thank our sponsors. We can't do this without them. Heidemann and Associates, it's a flat fee law service. So if you have any legal needs, they're not going to bill you with a ton of hours. flat fee service at Heidemann Associates. Give them a call at 801-472-7742. And then, of course, Tribal West. No one gets you back on the field quicker. It is your premier local lacrosse shop. Visit them down in Sandy. You can catch them at 9860 South, 700 East. Meshing, sticks, team sales, gear, whatever you need, the experts at Tribal West will take care of you. Thank you for joining us. Join us. We'll have more coming up this week on the podcast as we've got a former high school player joining us. We'll wait for that one, but you're going to want to catch this interview. Should be a good one. Young man who went and played college this year. We're going to learn about his experience. Should be a fun interview. Join us for that, as well as recaps and state tournaments. And we might have a couple more fun pieces coming up as well. You can catch all that right here on KSLSports.com, as well as on the Utah Lacrosse Podcast. Thanks for joining us. For Vince Francis, my name is Dane Stewart. Enjoy some great lacrosse college action on TV and high school action as the regular season closes out this week, only on KSLSports.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.